2:30 p.m. It's a Wednesday afternoon. You're watching Innovation Fika with me, Donny, here, live from KTH Innovation, KTH Sweden, Stockholm. Every Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. Innovation Fika, your innovation coffee break with me as a host, and always a super interesting guest. Today, I have the great, I can actually do just a short blurb about myself as well. Make sure to follow me on LinkedIn. I post almost daily on entrepreneurship, innovation, startups, and some inspirational posts on that. So check that out. Follow me on LinkedIn. All of the written content ends up on Medium. You'll find about 445 daily posts there now. And all of the recorded content from all of these sessions, you'll find on YouTube. So follow me on YouTube, follow me on LinkedIn. Just follow me anywhere. We're actually live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Univid, Twitter, and TikTok as well. Today on a crazy experiment, TikTok. I have no idea if that's working. Of course it is. I actually checked. It does work. Anyway, enough about me, enough about that. We only have a 30-minute coffee break, so I'll jump straight into introducing my guest, who today is Camilla Wirseen. Is it Wirseen or Wirseen or?
I mean, it depends which language you're speaking, actually. But in Swedish, it's Wirseen.
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 Wirseen. Okay,
yes.
Wirseen.
Did you know that 2 E's in Swedish actually is an E with an accent?
I had no idea.
No.
I've learned something new. This
new.
is the thing. Innovation Fika. You always learn something new. This is amazing. So, Camilla, welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much.
As I always ask all of my guests, just as a simple start, who are you and what do you do?
Oh my God, who am I? Okay, so I'm Swedish.
Yes.
Yes. I look at you, right? Yes. So I'm Swedish, and I am a so-called social entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I have been working as a social entrepreneur for 15 years. I started off with, or even more actually, I started off with a project that's born here at KTH, People Pool.
Yeah, I know that one. Yes.
Yes.
Amazing project.
The father of my 2 children, Anders Wilhelmsson, professor of architecture, invented the solution. I'm the co-founder of that. That brought me to Africa. And since then, and it brought me to poverty, and it brought me to actually entered my heart to make a difference for if I can. And I have been given a gift actually to find solutions to solve problems. And that is what I follow.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's
it is.
So I love that. I love what you're trying to do or what you're doing. And look, we all have, and I said, ask questions, keep the comments going. We actually have a hello here from Kenya. Hi, Kenya. Welcome into the show.
Shame.
And everybody, keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming. We're live here online for your sake as well, for your learning and for everything else here. So you started with People.
Yes.
And then you've moved on to, because on your name there it says the Cup Foundation.
Yes.
That's super exciting as well.
Well, I entered actually and started working one of the largest informal settlement that's called Kibera. That's in Nairobi.
Yes.
It's very close to this CBD city center. And I identified a problem that was not spoken about at that time, 2012. And that is due to poverty, no money, and due to the taboo and stigma, girls cannot afford to buy sanitary pads.
They can't afford to buy sanitary pads.
So what do? 11, 12, 13, 14.
Well, I have no idea.
You can't ask your uncle because it's too shameful. You can't use like toilet paper. No. They don't even have it. They use newspapers for a toilet. So what do? So these girls are actually having sex for sanitary pads.
But that's
meaning that they might end up pregnant, HIV. If you were pregnant at that age, it's very shameful. So they might do an abortion, which actually is killing girls daily. Yeah.
So that
is what I identify. And that is the problem. At that point, when I started this, they were doing it for $2. Yeah. I have just put up on my Facebook that I did a training where Shim, who's written here, a message, that a girl was actually doing for $50 Girls 13, 14, 15. So the economy is going even worse. They are having sex at that age. Yeah. So it's not what all the big organizations are talking about, menstruation. Girls are not going to school. This is far worse.
It is far worse.
So 2015, when I had ended my People Pool venture, I started up the Cup Foundation. And since People is such a well-known project. I actually got funding right away, and since I was already based in Kibera, I had people on the ground. I worked with only people from the slum, or it's called slum, a ghetto they call it themselves. They actually, I could just start launching right. So in 2015 we launched it. I have a co-founder, and we set it rolling, and we started reaching out. And since then, we have reached around 25,000 girls in Kenya, and around 7,000 boys, because you have to include the boys too.
Of course.
Yes. But, so that is the program. My program. And let me just.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Because the whole thing is that, if you imagine yourself, you're coming in as a trainer, and I never do the training myself. Shim is actually one of my trainers. But if you go into a classroom, will there only be that problem in that classroom? Not even in Sweden, when we come into a classroom, there will be only one problem, and in that classroom there will be many other. In these areas, we're talking about rape, we're talking about incest, we're talking about girls who were raped and now pregnant, and very, very young age. And if you give birth before 15, it is very dangerous to give birth. So my program that I have developed over these years, since 2015, is holistic, meaning you have to hold their hands, because they are children.
Yes.
Until the age of 18, they need to be held, their hand, steady by an adult. And that is my program. So I include boys, the same thing. So male trainers, Shim is one of my trainers, train boys, and female trainers train girls.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've added the web address, thecup.org.
Yes.
Everyone watching the live show or the recording, go to thecup.org, read more about this, because this is not only a social good project, this is an important project.
Yes, it is.
And just to go into some details on it, it's a reusable cup. That's what we're talking.
Yes. So I realized we have to give something, right?
Yes.
They need a solution. And I had I didn't know much about it, but there is something that's called a menstrual cup.
Yes.
It was invented in the 1930s, can be used for 10 years.
Yeah.
Pragmatic. Yeah. Let's do it. But it needs insertion, meaning behavior change.
Yes.
They also always use pads or cloth or stuff like that. So then you have to actually do trainings.
Yeah.
But that is an advantage. That means you get the possibility to enter the discussion.
Of course.
Not only with the girls and the boys, but also the parents, the teachers, and the elders and the community, the informal leaders. So it's actually a program that is breaking the taboo on a larger scale. And it works we can't imagine.
I mean, I'm
and I have to add this, if I may, but I have a very, very beautiful cooperation with Monkey H&M, who are providing one cup for each cup that is sold in their shops in Europe and in Russia, which is amazing. And this is a Lunette cup. That is the UN's preferred cup, so I'm very proud to with Finnish cup.
It's both humbling and inspiring to hear you talk about this. But I hope and I know that people who see you and listen to you and hear what you're actually achieving, together with the incredible people you're working with, they're going, but I want to do something as well. And I know that we've had communication about this whole sort of social good sort of movement that people want to be part of as well. Yes. And I know that, so if people are out there, but I want to do something as well.
Yes.
What would be your sort of, where either both when can I start and what should I be careful with when it comes to, rushing into something because you want to do a good thing? Because sometimes it doesn't always end up good.
But that is one of the problems. It's very hard to know where the money goes. Yeah. Right? I mean, there are many, many projects that are good out there. Yeah. Many people are making a difference. But when we donate to an organization, it's many steps before it lands in that country. You're asking me to present what I'm going to start in the second week of August. I am starting a free webinar.
Yes.
Where I will speak about this methodology that now been implemented in South Sudan, Ivory Coast, Gambia, and Tanzania, and I'm going to Botswana and Zambia also. The whole thing is that my really strong belief is that there is a gap in communication. We spoke about effective communication. So I have as one foot in this country and an understanding for what it is in our culture. But after 15 years on the ground, living with Kenyans, working together with Kenyans, I've never been part of the expat community. I have my other foot there. So I have a possibility to kind of communicate in between. So after my webinar where I proposed my methodology, you can either take the course, like my workshop, trainer to trainer workshop, and the last one will actually be an introduction, because right now I'm launching this methodology nationally in Kenya in 4 different geographical locations with 4 different grassroots organizations. And you will meet the people who are doing it, the people who are actually implementing the project. You will hear their problems from their mouth. You will be able, it's going to be called Volunteer in Africa, from your armchair, stories from another world. And then you will actually be able to even donate your time, check their web page, help them with their proposals and everything. So I'm going to offer a possibility to enter and understand that world, so we can start talking on another
That's
level.
fantastic. Where do we find this information? You say you're launching this in the autumn, but if we want to make sure to catch it, do we follow you on LinkedIn, or
yes,
where do we?
You follow me on LinkedIn. It's easiest, actually. Camilla Wirseen. That is the easiest, to be honest.
Yeah, follow Camilla on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
Or any of the channels, and keep your eyes open for this incredible free webinar that you're starting in August.
Yes.
And then the whole communication where you're actually giving people the chance, a way to help.
Yes, and also, of course, now buy the course or donate, and I mean there's money involved also, not only give your time. Yes, we do need money. I would say that every organization trying to make a difference is struggling with funding all the time. As we were speaking about before, it has to be financially sustainable. And it's very, very hard as an NGO or a CBO, a community-based organization, to get the donor who's interested in like supporting you year after year, year after year. Like the water bills. I mean, here we get water that's subsidized, but you know, the government is subsidizing it for us all over. But usually these NGOs the donors likes to do a one-timer. Okay, let's move to something more fun, and then we go there.
Exactly.
And then you end up. So I'm trying to find methods to make this financially sustainable by also being a speaker,
of course,
and doing many other things.
But that is a very, very important message, I think, to anyone out there as well, when it's thinking about, because we talk a lot about social entrepreneurship, and this is my words.
Please.
There's, in my personal opinion, there's a misconception, because people think that, social entrepreneurship, then I don't need to make money. I can only sort of do things because it's a good thing. But if you're talking about sustainability and you want to become a sustainable entrepreneur, if you want a sustainable company, you need to be able to sustain yourself, and that means economically as well. So you need to get the whole, again, holistic. You need to get the whole picture, because if you can't, hey, it's like the same thing in airplanes. It's like, why are there 2 face masks in the toilet? Or why is that? Help yourself first. And
yes,
you have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet to be able to help other people stand up as well.
That is one of the most important messages, actually, for even every human being. First, you help yourself. Take care of yourself, and then you can help the others. But that is completely true. You have to find a way to sustain yourself. And this is also a problem. Being a social entrepreneur is like being an artist, actually. If you're musicians, they will say, but come and play for free, Just,
exactly.
show how good you are, you will get attention.
All musicians are going,
I am invited, to do these workshops. Come for free. We all do community work when we do community work, but they are doing it as a hobby, and I'm doing it as a professional thing. Also,
a very good distinction there, because that it's either a hobby or it's a business, and a business has some kind of economic viability. Actually, getting more comments here again from Shim here. The CUP is really a great program that many people have found it more educative and helpful to them in their day-to-day activities. You give people a free space to interact and listen to them. Kudos, Camilla. Wonderful. Thank you, Shim. And everybody else out there, comments and cheers and questions, just Post them on. We could, as I said, we could probably go on for the rest of the day talking about social entrepreneurship and what's going on and what we can do. But I want to hear more about the effects of the Cup Foundation, as Shim was talking about here.
Yeah.
Because you've been at it for some time now, is it?
Yeah. Since 2015.
So that's 7 years this year.
Yeah.
And so you've worked with 25,000 girls and another, I think you said 7,000 boys, which is that's a lot of people.
Yes.
What are are you seeing any long-term effects now, sort of coming out of it, like 7 years later?
Well, the girls, we have like a user acceptance of the menstrual cup, which is about 80%.
80%. That's high,
80%.
isn't it?
Yes, it is very high. But you would have to understand that this is girls who really do not have a solution.
No,
this is actually why it's. But it's very important when you do programs like this that you have an acceptance from the community. If I enter a school and there's one teacher who does not like this idea of a girl inserting a menstrual cup inside the vagina, they will say to the girls, we have a user acceptance of 5%. So there's a need to do this in the correct way.
How do you build that? But how do you build that trust?
Here we come to my key thing. I told you, trust. Trust is key. So Shim is a boy and no, he's a young man. Sorry, Shim. A young man or a young woman. I only work with my trainers are from the ages of 20 to 28. Why? Because a 11 to 19 year or 20-year-old kid, by default, I love this, will look up to this person, think they are cool.
Of course.
And actually, these people who are the trainers still remembers how it was. They come from the same background. I always train the people who come. So they are so-called peer educators. And peer education has been proven again and again to be very effective reaching out. There's studies from Sweden and Norway that shows that if you do sexual education, the youths themselves want to be taught by someone who has no stigma, have no shame, you know. In Sweden, we rely on the math teacher, the biology teacher. He will never feel without shame. And there is also a age gap. And here we come to effective communication. There's no understanding anymore. They have forgotten. And they have also grown. You know, the society changes. Of course. So they don't understand what the kids are going through. The second thing is that they want their questions answered. Their questions. Not only like HIV, that you have to talk about so much in these countries, but they want their questions answered. And what we always do in one of the first things we do is to ask the youths, the kids, to write anonymous questions, because this is very shameful. And we have gathered thousands of anonymous questions, which have, of course, helped me develop the program even more holistically, because I know what they need to know by this. And right now we have since we are kind of going into the next step and we are scaling, we have a professor in the university in Japan, of all countries, a medical university, who's now going to do research, which is unique to understand what is it, the baseline, like what is it the kids need to know? What is the status
in this specific subject, or
I mean, from it's actually called the Rafiki project.
Rafiki, okay, yes.
Here we go for trust. Rafiki means friend in Swahili.
Okay.
Rafiki is a friend that is always there, listens to you, and most importantly, keeps the secret. Confidentiality. A 13-year-old does not want her parents to know.
Of course not.
No. So there we go.
Yeah, there we go. But I think the so many good things there. But the identification part with the people who are young enough to remember what it was like, and for me as a young person to be able to look up and still connect. I see the same effects in the entrepreneurship
I can imagine.
Scene where I sort of move around, where entrepreneurs want to talk to other entrepreneurs. I mean, so okay, fine. As an example, anybody can sort of be kind of inspired by Richard Branson, or like that. But it's like sort of I can be inspired by him, but it's sort of not me. I'm, you know, especially not if I'm 16, 17 years old and this entrepreneurship thing sounds cool.
Yeah, but let me share something. I studied architecture, okay?
Yeah.
And I saw a film when I was in Canada, McGill, actually, where this professor in Japan is from. And I saw a film about the architect who made the monument in Vietnam, you know, the wall. Yes. And she was actually, you know, it was an anonymous competition, that architecture competition. She won. Yeah. And she was Asian. And she was a woman, and she was 20 something, 21 or something. And then you see her like now, 10 years later, she comes in jeans, in a T-shirt. There's a boardroom meeting, you know, with all the men with the ties and everything. And this girl comes in, she starts, and everyone has respect, you know, because she has done a monument that we all can never remember, forget, right? It's everyone, if you haven't seen it, check it out, the Vietnam memorial wall. And that I realized I don't have any good role models as a girl. I don't have any. I haven't seen anyone that I identify with and think I can do it. And this is actually what is happening with my program. These kids see my trainers and they often write in their notes, I want to be really like you, you know.
But that's the best way, because then you can also get the sort of the feedback loop going when it comes to feeding it back into the system as well. And and on that note, I mean, the peer-to-peer learning, I'm 100% in on that. The identification part, I mean, when we started KTH Innovation, nobody knew what we did, what we were. Nobody sort of trusted us. So the only way we didn't even market ourselves. The only way we did was we showed the people we helped.
Yes, that's a good way.
You know, they were the champions,
yes,
right?
Yes, yes.
And it was the male and the female professors and students that we showcased.
Yes.
And like, sort of, look, here's, and then people started, that could be me. I can understand that. I get that.
Yes, exactly.
But for me to just say, I can help you with this and this and this, it was like, I don't. No. Not only not identify, but don't understand what's, you know, the whole.
Here we go.
So that's
effective communication is understanding.
Yes. Well, actually, it's this Innovation Fika Wednesday afternoon. Every Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. is a short coffee break chat. So ending off as well, because we have to end off. We always end off with the. Let's see here. We have the top 3 tips of our, because we cannot end without our guest giving us even more. We've learned a lot today already, but we have more to learn. Let's see here. Why is that's interesting. There we go. Camilla Wirseen's top 3 tips for the day. Yes. And we can say this, that number 1, you talked about trust.
Trust is key in life.
Yes.
I usually say you won't even hire a plumber to make your toilet if you don't trust he can do it.
Of course not.
Trust is key in every situation. So trust we need to have. I mean, it goes for everything, and not only for my program, in every situation.
Of course.
Yes.
Any short tips on how we can build trust? How do you actually build trust, though? How does that work?
It depends on which situation you are. But like when I started with People and I was going around with it, I identified a group of people very high up in the World Bank, USB, Philanthropic Services from Geneva, WHO, you know, and I made them my advisory board. By having them behind me, then I get trust. Another one, which is coming to the communication is more than words, is also what we had at People when we entered. We had Blindfors, Love Blindfors, the one of the best communication agencies. They had done our brochure, they had done our webpage. I had a card when I entered that, World Water Week, which was focused on sanitation in 2007. And I entered and I said, I'm going to now tell the world that we have a new solution to one of the world's biggest problems, because that was the truth, actually.
Yes.
And with all those things, I got trust, because otherwise, who was I? I'm a photographer, architect, curator, right?
That's not bad.
Yes, no, well, it's not bad. I actually been teaching here at KTH. I was a teacher and then choose your own path. This is something this is going back to the kids, but it's also, okay, so when I'm working, of course, my goal is not money. right? My goal is social impact. I am focusing. I actually carry with me these small girls like this who are almost playing with dolls, who are now being abused and used. So I want them to actually reach their full potential and be able to develop. And I think that we all agree on that. Choose your own path, meaning we are all given talents, right? And it was like I was on the Indian Ocean, where I actually am moving. I'm going to live on the Indian Ocean in Indiana. That's going to be my new home. Come and visit me. It's the most beautiful beach in the world. But anyway, I met this man who was a Maasai, and he was the same age as my daughter, born 2002. And I asked, so what do you do in life? And the Maasais come from very like hard, tough area. And he said, well, I'm studying computer science. And I said, like my daughter, that is great. But he said, I will also do like an electrician, whatever. And I said, why will you do that? And he said, well, as a backup. And I said, well, what are you good at? What do you like to do? I'm very good at math. I'm very good at doing computers. Well, whatever you're good at, you will do good, and the other money will come. Why even do something you don't like? And that is when I say, follow your own path. Because when you develop whichever talent you have,
of course,
then you will do it good and the money will come. So don't have money as your focus, because in Kenya especially, people are just focused on money. There the corruption comes. That means that you hurry up the work to get the money, and you will not do it good.
But that comes, again, the whole sort of, choose something that you're passionate about, because it will shine through.
Yes.
If you enjoy what you do, it will show.
It not only show,
you do things better.
It will reflect right away.
Exactly.
You will have an output directly, because you will do it good. It gives back.
Exactly. And
if
then
you do it bad and you do it rushing, be good.
Here's a secret. Me and Camilla, we have a secret here. We're not gonna keep it this one. But the thing is, if you actually find something which you are passionate about, or you do what you're passionate about, it will get done better.
Yes.
You will enjoy yourself more, because you're doing what you want to do.
Life.
And this here's the kicker. You can charge more money for it. So again, the whole sort of sustainability thing, it actually works.
Yeah.
Okay, LinkedIn user here. Very cool, Camilla. Thank you, LinkedIn user. Couldn't see who you are. Shim again. Thanks for the tips on Innovation Fika. Really interesting session. I've enjoyed it, very bit of it. Thank you, Shim. Welcome back next week. It is now 2:57, and we're just about to end off with my wonderful guest in the studio. I will put your name on again here. Camilla Wirseen, who is the founder of the Cup Foundation, but so much more. Tell us again, what is this webinar thing this autumn called again?
Volunteer in Africa.
Volunteer in Africa.
From your armchair. Stories from another world.
Stories from another world.
Yes, I will post it on LinkedIn, on my Facebook, and on the Instagram. I'm not on anything.
Follow this moment on LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn. I will repost whatever she posts when she posts on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
You know what it is? It's 2:30. Well, it's 3 now, but every Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. Innovation Fika with me, Donnie, and incredible guests like my wonderful new friend Camilla here. Well, not new friend, but we've known for a while.
We're already friends.
We are. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you so much.
And
for saying that.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I will see you all next week. And with that, one more comment coming in here. Here's this. Who's this? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Where are you from?
Yeah, where are you from? Add where you're from, please.
This is a very special name.
Yes.
Tokushuva.
Add in the comments here. Where are you from? Where are you from? So we get that as well.
Nathaniel. Beautiful name.
A very beautiful name indeed. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Take care. I'll see you all next week.
See you at my webinar, free webinar.
Yes, free webinar.
Second week of August.
There you go.